Hi, I'm really excited because this just arrived, and this is my first check, which is my first payment from an exhibition here in the States. So a really great milestone for my practice. I recently started showing my work in physical exhibition form again. I'm super excited to have it out there. It was a bit of a long road to get there, to get my work to a point where I was happy enough with it to actually have it out. And I'm even more excited and honored that someone liked one of my pieces enough to take it home with them and have it in their house as part of their lives. It's a pretty special feeling. I'm Claire. I'm an artist whose work is deeply inspired by being in wild places, really trying to reflect on how we are part of the wild and it is part of us. In this video, I'm going to talk about the work that I submitted for the show and the kind of themes and inspiration behind the work. I decided to show 3 works from my Ripple series as they represented a really big breakthrough in my practice and in my push towards abstraction. While I have a lot of respect for artists who take a more traditional representational approach in their work, to my mind, landscape painting always feels like you're looking out a window at a view and implies a sense of distance. I'm more interested in articulating being immersed in a place. As Terry Tempest Williams states in her book, Red, to move through wild country in the desert or the woods is to engage in a walking meditation, a clearing of the mind, where we remember what we have so easily lost. We eat, we sleep, we look, we smell, we touch, we hear, we taste our own feral nature. What we know in a wild place is largely translated through the body. Abstraction takes us away from that kind of mediation of looking out at a view and instead replaces that with sensation using colour and texture and shape and form that speak to bodily sensation and memory rather than presenting a scene to be viewed. My Ripple series of work was really the first group of works where I felt like I was actually making progress towards that goal in my work. These works were inspired by a hike that I took at the height of summer, when the enduring high temperatures of a sustained heat wave drove us out of the house, seeking the deep shadows of redwood groves, crossing a railway line and down to a river. There's something magical about redwood forests, the tall majesty of the trees, the way the light kind of sifts and filters down through the layers of the forest to settle on the forest floor. The carpet of redwood leaves absorbs and mutes sound, resulting in a hushed, cathedral-like space. The river cascaded through the forest, rippling around rocks that were rounded by the action of water over time. I settled on a large rock to draw, pushing myself beyond the safe space of the traditional to try and capture more of a sense of the feeling of the place. I look at this sketch now, the sketch that started this body of work, and I see how hard I was trying and struggling. It's still grounded in capturing a scene, but there are attempts to abbreviate and simplify, attempts to capture the essence. I look at this sketch and I know how far I have come. When I got back to the studio, I obsessively painted river rocks over and over and the ripples around them, experimenting with colour and form, pushing composition. From these explorations, I started 3 works that took the rocks as a starting point, arranged almost ritualistically into patterns, allowing myself to push beyond that starting point, adding layers of paint and collage and more paper as I felt the need to grow the works further and as the work seemed to need it. Starting with the grounding of those river rocks and ripples, but symbolically expanding from there pulling in the repeat pattern of the railway line we crossed, the deep shadows and pools of light of the redwood trees, and the traces and tracks of people who had moved through the space before us. Always holding the silent, mysterious depth of the redwood forest and the rippling of the clear, cool water in my mind as I worked. Ripple 1 was the first work that I finished. 4 river rocks form the cornerstone of this composition, with blue squares forming a stepping stone-like path in between them. At the centre, a deep pool of blue, which speaks to the mysteriousness of the redwood grove and the magic nature of the water. Ripple 2 came next. A single rock is centered in the composition, enveloped by a collaged circle and golden dashes of paint that lead the eye inwards. Ripple 3 took some time to develop. This is the largest and most complex of the series. Again, there are 4 river rocks that form the structure of the composition, with the ripples leading inwards towards the center of the work. Brownish collage that speaks to the redwood bark surrounds this with white gouache that is reminiscent of the dappled light playing on the forest floor. The geometric gaps and squares reference the railway tracks we had to cross to get down the river and symbolize the human connection to this place. So which work sold? Ripple 1. I love this piece, and I'm so deeply honoured that someone chose to take that part of that redwood experience home with them. If you're interested, the other 2 works are framed and available. So if you're interested, please reach out to me via a comment here or via my website, clairebondart.com, or you can find me on social media at clairebondart on Instagram. While you're visiting my website, you might want to sign up for my newsletter, which I am going to start sending out monthly. I'm super excited for this. It's a new thing for me to do. So if you're interested in hearing more about my work and the exhibitions that I'm participating in, I have another 2 coming up this year. Please sign up for the newsletter because that's where you'll get to hear about them first. And that's it for this time. Thank you so much for watching. And until next time, may all your paths take you through wooded forests, peopled with ancient beings, where you can find respite and restore your creativity. May we all come to know how important these places are for the human psyche and the respite that comes from connecting with them. This seems more important than ever at this time. Take care.